Today we're going to go over that head snap choke series. This is one of my better series. I use the same principle in a lot of places, but I do like to set up my chokes mostly from this position here. So I'm in butterfly, I'm sitting up, we're working, right? And for whatever reason, I just can't get Norm up and under, and I can't get my arm drag series we've been working the last 2 weeks. So all we're gonna look to do is head snap Norm, and I'm gonna try to tuck his head where my outside hand grabs his chin, and I tuck his head in just like a football. Or a rugby ball for you. Once we're here, all we're gonna look to do, grab that fatty part of our hand, I'm gonna roll his chin under, collapse my elbow, and fall to that same side. So I'm here, I snap his head in, connect my hand, collapse my elbow. As I'm rolling this in, I'm gonna fall to this side and cover that choke. 9 times out of 10, if you're doing this right, you'll get the choke long before you get to your back. But if not, like I said, it may take just a couple extra seconds to squeeze. So you're in here, you're working, boom, you snap that head, tuck it in, boom. It's a good nasty choke, can set on pretty quickly if you're doing it right. Questions on this? It's the same thing we went over on Tuesday. So we're here, folks over here can see, we're here, I snap his head into my chin tuck. Tuck his head under, I'm going to collapse my elbow and roll my hands in. As I do that, I'm going to cover his back of his head with my ear as I fall to this side. Getting a good quick tap. Alright. Yes, sir.
So when you're like grabbing your hand, are you grabbing this part of your hand? Like
yep, so I'm always grabbing that fatty part of my palm. It's just gonna help you get that good turn, almost like you're trying to look at your wristwatch. That's the type of curling motion. Yeah, because what I'm trying to do is manipulate that chin. So if his chin's up here, a lot of space for all this to work, right? As soon as I start to turn that chin down, a lot less space for him to work with. Well, I'm gonna occupy that space with my hands. So when I'm here, my hand comes underneath here. That's what allows you to turn that chin up. So that's the nice part of that choke.
What it feels like is he's going from a cup to almost rolling up under and creating that space and getting the neck.
All right. Other questions on this one, guys?
Kind of late.
Yes. Yes, I want to cover this choke. Too many people try to arch out of their guillotines, which naturally is going to pop his chin and head up. So when I hit this, I'm trying to curl everything in and get my head and chest over the top of this.
So I move to any side, I stay.
Yeah, I like to come here, and as soon as I come there, I'm going to start to fall to that side just to put extra pressure on that choke. All right. Other questions? 1, 2, 3, 4. Good things are happening. I go for my head snap. I go here. But for whatever reason, Norm goes to wrap my body, and I can't get inside here to go connect my hands, right? So instead of having just a traditional guillotine, we're going to go arm in. Same thing. Our outside hand goes through the armpit, grabs that fatty part of our hand. The only major difference with this choke from the other one is I'm going to rock my elbow in just ever so slightly. So almost like you're rocking a baby. I'm going to rock that elbow in and then go for that same finish. So I'm here, hand comes in, I rock. As soon as I do that, I still roll here, fall to that side. And as soon as you apply pressure, you get a nice generous tap from your opponent. Same basic concept, guys. I'm here with Norm. Boom. I head snap. Boom. He starts to wrap up my body because a lot of guys will start to try to wrap you up here to get control of you. Boom. You grab that fatty part of your hand. You wrap your elbow in that little bit. Help collapse that head. As soon as you get there, same thing. Cover your choke. Home to the side, no pressure yet, and Norm's still tapping. And that's with almost zero pressure applied.
Yeah, that's the one that puts me out. I'll go out that quickly.
It's a nasty one if you get it right, guys. This whole little choke series, if you're doing it properly, will work pretty efficiently. Yep, still that same grip. Other questions on this, guys?
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Do it again.
One more time. So we're here. Boom, I head snap him across. I go over the top. Get my hand. I'll show you guys on this side. Here, I rock that hand in. As soon as that hand rocks in, I cover my choke, squeeze here. Get a good tight tap.
How intentional are you about driving your elbow all the way over until it touches the neck?
So, for this hand,
Yeah.
so this hand you're not looking to drive your elbow around here. You're more looking to rock your pressure, because when I'm here, I can just turn up.
Okay.
With this shoulder pressure, it's a little bit harder. That's why you're rocking it in there.
Okay.
So that way the pressure goes from here to it's cutting across. So it's not so much about burying your elbow or anything crazy like that, because a lot of guys will get here, bury their elbow. And Norm's uncomfortable right now, but he wouldn't have tapped to that given him half a second to defend. So the goal is when you get here, my pressure's here. All I'm trying to do is shift my thumb from basically this side of his chin to the other side of his chin.
Can you say that again?
So my thumb's normally on this side of his chin. So I'm making Norm cough because how good these chokes feel for him. So my thumb's normally on this side of his chin, right? All I'm doing with that rock is moving it from this side of his chin to the opposite side. It's not some dramatic where you got to really bury the elbow. Like for the anaconda choke that we're going to do next, or like a darce, you got to bury that shoulder, bury that arm. This one you don't. It's just that rock from that one side of the chin to the other. Other questions on this? 1, 2, 3. So I'm here and I'm gonna choke Norm again, right? Because, you know, choking Norm's fun. I'm gonna be honest about it. It's good for me, it's good for my soul, all those fun things, right?
I love it.
So boom, I'm here. I go to get his head, and for whatever reason, I just can't seem to get the chin. He starts to wrap up my body a little bit here. He starts driving into me, and I just can't seem to get there, right? So let's say instead of going for the chin, this hand's gonna commit all the way across to his armpit here. I'm gonna reach all the way across, and I'm coming over the top of that head. As soon as this arm comes through, if I need to, I can use my palm to palm grip, my gable grip there, to resettle myself. But I'm gonna look to grab my own bicep, and I'll turn here in a second. As soon as my bicep comes, this hand is gonna reach for his t-shirt tag. I'm gonna fall towards him, cover that choke, and finish there. So when I'm here, boom, I head snap, and let's say I over snap here. Sometimes you'll do that and he'll just duck his head into you and you'll be like, oh crap, I can't get his chin. Perfect. This hand digs out. I wave to everyone at home. I use this to set my grip a little bit better. Grab my bicep, I'm here, and I'm looking to curl everything into his chest. As soon as I do that, I fall to this side. If you need to, trap the leg, squeeze, and finish from there. The goal is to fold him like origami in this. You want his head, neck, and chest just bending in over the top of himself, and you trap that leg to keep him from running away from you.
You grabbed you did like
Yes, palm to palm.
Okay, to adjust. So
Yeah, I can use that to set my grips if I need to. So like if I'm here, and let's say I'm not blessed with length, right? Sometimes you're just a girthier person, sometimes you're a length guy, right? Boom, I'm here. Sometimes you'll need that to help really set that grip deeper. Boom, come here, and then you can go. If you're really not blessed with length, you can hit this palm to palm. I just don't think it's as effective. I would go back to going back to head and arm if you've got to go palm to palm. But I would start to work this through and start to pummel that in. That way you can still come to to some semblance of that grip.
But don't try. So like me with anybody here, don't try palm to palm. Just go back.
Yeah, I wouldn't go palm to palm. It's not going to be as effective. And if you're in that position, you're half-assing both chokes.
Oh.
Don't half-ass one thing, full-ass it, okay? So when I'm there, make sure when you're setting your grips, you want your pinky and the ridge of that bicep here, curling over. And it's not just lightly putting your hand on their back. I'm trying to reach up and rip out their t-shirt tag because that's where I want that grip. Because all that's going to do is as I collapse that in, everything gets tighter and tighter as you go there. If I just put my hand up on his back, very different gap than if I'm closing everything in here. That's the goal on this choke. So we're here with Norm. Boom. I head snap. Get my arm in, right? And if you can get their arm across, like this is a good one out of the arm drag as well. Like if you can't quite get the arm drag perfect, but you're here and you can come over the top, also a good option. Use that palm to palm to adjust your grip. Grab your bicep. This comes up. Ball where your lock's in the air. I like to catch this leg and squeeze. Other questions on the anaconda?
Your leg is low when you're walking. You know, like when you have it locked over, you actually like bury that elbow into your knee, or
I don't worry about that as much. The bigger thing here is when I get this locked up, and I'm not going to lock my hands just because I like Norm. So let's say I get this locked right. When I'm here, it's not so much that I'm using this to help support it, is I'm waiting for this to come over because I want to catch his leg. Because the natural defense to this is Norm runs this way. And he starts to run away from you, basically. And then you end up in that, I'm going to date myself. Who remembers the What's-Her-Face and the Big Clock? It was the morning TV show, Molly and the Big Clock, where she would walk her feet around. That's what you end up in, a weird race like that.
Reminds me of the Three Stooges.
Yeah. And so you end up in that weird foot race trying to catch their feet. So I'm just using that to trap more than I am anything. It's not, I'm not using this to like reinforce the choke or anything like that. Good question though.
When you're going over the back for that collar and knee, does it make any difference if you grab cloth to make it tighter?
Not particularly.
Doesn't make any
Cloth,
difference?
yeah, cloth, because at no point am I using the cloth to choke you anywhere else.
I didn't know if it would help.
It may help from just a grip standpoint as far as just a reinforcement point, but I'm not particularly worried about. What Norm's asking is, when I go here, let's say I don't actually lock this because I like Norm, do I want to reach up here and actually grab cloth? You can, it's not necessary. It's one of those, if you want a good anchor point for your hand, great. If not, keep moving. Other questions? 1, 2, 3.
when you do that, you gotta go.
What up, Caleb?
Here we don't block. You do that, you gotta go.